Welcome to The Naked Truth. And now, your host, Bridget Barclay.
Good evening, America, and good morning, a very early morning, like I always say, to all my fellow friends in England. I'm going to quickly crack on because I've been off for a couple of weeks, and I'm back and I'm fine now. Thank you. Tonight, again, is part 3 of Mike Paterson and his story and his encounters with Nephatia and the family. Nephatia is a family... is a part of a family of Sasquatch that Mike has been interacting with. He's been involved in field research since 2008 and started having his ongoing contact experiences since 2012. 15 years of research, 10 years of research with Nef. I got in contact with Mike in 2012 after watching his YouTube channels because I started having the same experiences in gifting that he has had. So I have brought him back on because he's going to be an ongoing journey with me because UFOs and Sasquatch go together. And once you've had these remarkable experiences, it's just undeniable. So without further ado, Mike, welcome, please, again to the table. Hey, you. Are you all right? Yeah. I am absolutely fine. Thank you, Mike, for coming back.
It's now 16 years and a dozen interacting with Nef's family. That's I got to update that information. Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We've gone up by a year. Okay. Yeah. Well, how amazing is that anyway? And how amazing of the journey and the learning and understanding. Well, semi-understanding behind it all, but the gifting, the communication, the written communication. You put a new YouTube video out. I would ask everybody to go to Mike's SasquatchOntario YouTube channel. It's absolutely phenomenal. In the last 2 weeks since Mike has put his new YouTube talk out, which is called Incredible Sasquatch Evidence and Events and describes them. Mike, I can't believe it. When I first sort of joined you, which was about 3 years ago, in the last 2 weeks, it's on 34K. That's so amazing. The world's opening up to Sasquatch. Thank you.
More recently, I opened up a TikTok account, right?
Oh, get with it.
Yeah, to try and drive more people to see this stuff because, and it's actually being well received for the most part, good. Right? I always get hoax accusations, all that, and I just block. That's
absolutely.
It, right? I don't even these people. I'm just finished with them.
Yeah, so, thank you very much. Off.
but there's a lot of people that are a growing number. I see that are being very receptive to this stuff and the whole interdimensional aspect. Because I don't hold anything back, right? I just tell it like it is. So it's
well, more and more people are more awakening. More and more people are having encounters, whether it be with orbs or just, let's say, owl experiences, and I think people now are starting to question lots of things. And I know, like I said, from watching your YouTube channel, that's when I started getting being gifted with the marble, the corn dolly, and then the footprint. And, I'm here in England. I'm not living in a wood. And it's no different than having a orb come through your window or seeing a craft anywhere in the world. But anyways, we're here to go through some vocals, because there obviously will be people listening tonight that might not have listened to part 1 and part 2 or might not know about your YouTube channel. I think they do. But, again, I'm doing what you do. I'm trying to put as many people to your site as that I can because it's so vitally important, because we're interacting with something interdimensional and that is so highly intelligent, a bit like when you're interacting with a craft or an orb. It's undeniable.
They make us look slow in every way.
Yeah, and let's this is make me laugh. We'll talk about the fart at the end, right? Because that is just great humor. I mean, yeah, and everyone's gonna go, what? There's a story behind that, but anyways, because it is quite funny. Right, so we're going to start off with which one do we have, Grace? We have Nef. I think it's the first time he ever said Mike. And tell us, Mike, how you wanted Nef to communicate with us.
You know, there came a time where we were investigating. I knew from the first night. You know, I got invited to this property, to Dwayne's property, after interviewing him and Lori at their place, and they invited me to the cottage, and I knew from the first night. And it was almost like I was being trained, you know, 4 years prior, given all these experiences. I didn't have a clue that they were interdimensional, even though I had weird stuff happen, you know, prior to being invited to Dwayne's. I had some weird incidents happen that, you know, I just didn't understand them at the time. Right. But so when I went to Dwayne's the first night, I knew they had Sasquatch presence. You know, there was stuff happening the very first night. And so we kept making visits. I think that first year was pretty much most weekends, I think. And don't quote me on that, but
I know you've got so much material. It's hard to probably put the months and the years together, really.
We're making a lot of visits, and you know, things were developing quickly, and it was about 8 months before they really let us hear their voice. So that was the beginning of May, the very beginning of May 2013. That's when it started with the vocals, and you know, I knew they were there. And things would happen. I remember at one point they left this little plastic toy ice cream cone kids toy thing on the back of my car. You know, nobody knew what we were doing. You know, nobody knew to do that, right? And I went outside and I found this, and I had shivers because I knew it was them, and I knew they were watching. So I would always go outside and I'm Mike, you know, Mike, and I, you know, pronounce my name and stretch the letters to show them how to say my name, right? And and finally, it was around the first or second weekend of May. I can't remember which one, but that's when I got the first time that he said Mike. And I remember I was up in my tent. I had audio mics running through my sunroof in my vehicle, which was down by the cottage. I'm up an incline, fairly steep, and then it plateaus, and I'm tucked back there. So I can hear him vocalizing, but not really loud because, you know, there's this hill between us kind of thing. And but the clarity on the vocals were fantastic because they would gravitate to where I was recording, you know, and this has happened consistently throughout the dozen years that I have been interacting with them. There's been a lot of distant stuff in that, but you know, they know what all the equipment does. They know what it all does. Video, camera, all that stuff, right? So.
I love the fact that you are using audio. If you look at sort of like when people do all of the ghost tours and the ghost hunts and use all of the electronic devices for all the ghosts, you never, ever get the clarity of what you're getting. You know, you can get, you know, if you listen to any of the ghost stuff, you think, what? Can't really make it out. This is absolutely crystal clear. This is, it's a total interaction and an intelligent one, because it's this interdimensional being has learnt your name. Now, I've never had a being talk to me and say my name at all, but this is a different form of being that's learned not just your name, flower, you know, so many different words from homing in and just observing the situation. So Race, let's go for Mike's first vocal. Well, that's the sort of picture of Nephatia. So what I like about it is that, well, Nef has got lots of different ranges, and as we go on, you'll hear the various tones of the ranges, like when you're teaching him flower and various things. So who else was with you when you heard Mike, did you say?
No, that happened in the middle of the night. Basically, I'm in my tent. Dwayne's crashed in the cottage.
Yeah.
He always slept in the cottage. I would sleep in my tent, weather pending.
Yeah, I know you
have. To be in the thick of it, right? There was a lot of fear back then. You know, I was very fearful, but still I was pushing myself through it, right? Because I knew I had the real thing.
Well, that's the test as well. It's no different if you've got a craft in front of you. That is the test there, right there and then. Do you step it into that threshold and own it and communicate with it? So you're no different than a UFO experiencer at this point. And I have to say, you've had UFO encounters as well yourself, so, and orbs and various things. So amazing. Let's hear number 2. Is he there? Race, can we hear another one?
Hey, buddy.
I'll be right back.
It's all right.
Nephatia, how are you, my friend? Oh, he's right here. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my God. Hello, my friend. Oh, I'm so happy you're doing this. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Marble!
Yeah.
I love you, buddy.
Marble!
Marble. Marble. You're saying marble. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh, thank you, my friend.
Okay, we do have a bit of an overlap.
Mike!
Okay, we do have a little bit of an overlap, but what I love is the fact of you're there talking in the distance, going, I can hear you, my friend, and Nef's so excited. It's like a small child, isn't it?
Yeah, he was, I think, 17 years old when that all started, because I got his age finally at 25. I asked him, what's your age in human years? And his sister was, they wrote 12 at the time, which put her at 4 when this started. And I think she's the one that was brought to me in the dream state, and I got to meet her.
Okay.
An older female brought her to meet me, and I was conscious in this state to reach out and reach my hand out, and she took my hand, and she was so excited and so freaked out at the same time. I felt her emotions like they were my own. They ran through me, and it was like absolutely mind blowing, right? So they have that ability. So they have a command of our consciousness. You know, I think they have full control over their subconscious 24/7, basically. You know, we don't. No, I suppose it's a bit, I'm going to always say it's probably a bit like beings. Have you actually ever had a
being encounter or any other encounter with any sort of like deity or anything like that?
In the dream state.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was visited by an ET girl.
Okay.
Who said some
Carry
words?
on.
Who said some words to me? I don't want to say them here, but who said some words to me, and then like you mentioned earlier with the UFO incidents, 2 of them back in July 2018, and I know with the first one, I knew it was meant for me personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was driving on the highway. It was full of traffic. It was the middle of the day. There was not a cloud in the sky, and they knew that. They knew that. So I could not dismiss it as, oh, a cloud just must have passed by or something. And I was driving past the airport even, and going with the flow of traffic, and 12:30 in the afternoon, and this large shadow passes over top of me, going just a little faster to stick out, right? And I noticed it instantly, and I was like, I had one of those WTF moments, and because I'm expecting I should hear a plane, and I stuck my head out, and there was nothing there, and that's when I knew instantly that's a cloaked ship.
Yeah.
And they put it right in front of me for me to see that. And then I had an incident 15 days later up in Nef's area at night with a bright light that came towards me. Basically, it was, and again, they knew the conditions. It was one of those dead still nights. You can literally hear a pin drop. It's that quiet. There's a lot of nights up there like that, right? So they knew that. So when that thing passed over top, not far from me, and it was dead silent. I didn't see a craft because it was just a big bright light, right?
Yeah. Well, they come in any shape or form.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and once you connect to them, I find it follows you.
Yeah, totally. All the way to England in my makeup bag, the marbles. Like, what? After listening to one of your YouTube channels, and like I said, I've said this before when we've done part 1 and part 2. Please, everybody, go to Mike's. It's all written at the bottom there for his Mike's YouTube channel. Start at the bottom and see the progression of how Mike has. You've sort of all evolved with each other, because like you said that you've started, well, you write on a chalkboard, and you get messages given to you that way when you ask questions. What questions have you asked that you've been most surprised about?
I'm gonna do a video on that stuff, because there's been a lot. A lot of stuff doesn't get answered. Some questions I have to change the wording around, and then I'll get a response. I've noticed that.
You get lots of dots, don't you, as well? Lines and dots. That's always intriguing.
Well, that all has to do with invisibility and the fact that we can do what they can do, but they're not just like, here you go, here's the answer. They make you work for it, right? So there's been things happen. I know that we can do this. I know for a fact we can do this. So I'll just say that. But so over the years, this is one of my biggest things to try and figure this out, because that's how they stay safe.
Yes.
There's military out there trying to eradicate them, trying to, wipe them out.
Because you've had the helicopters and everything, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had. I've had that happen in multiple locations now. One night we had a Cessna fly over Dwayne's cottage that had tech on board trying to find them, probably lidar or something. They showed me through a drawing. Right after that,
bad humans, wasn't it? Wasn't it? You wrote something and they said bad humans.
Yeah, they do that, and
they are bad humans.
They have written that. I've asked. I don't want to get into it, but I've asked a lot of the conspiracy related stuff. I've asked those types of questions.
Yeah,
so far they're all true.
Yeah. Some of them are personal, because listen, it's your personal journey, and the fact that you're sharing this with so many others, no different than all of us people podcast. we're here to share for this sort of, we are the disclosure in all of this, and we are sharing our experiences. And the more people that do this, the more we can help one another. What we can hope, besides the people that are jealous of many of us for doing what we do, but they can all. I'm not allowed to say the F word. But everyone can gather and everyone can spell. Right. So let's do some more vocal. I'm going to carry on.
Say I'm doing my part to help break this system. I cannot stand this system. It's BS. It's corrupt to the core. It's run by dark. I hate it, Yeah. So this stuff breaks it. This is why I do this.
And I hope you've got absolutely bloody everything. I'm allowed to say the bloody because it's very English anyway. I hope you've got everything backed up in case everything gets taken off YouTube and then you go on to a totally different channel, because I know 2 people in the last week that have had all of their stuff taken off YouTube. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, that's the in thing now, everything to come down off YouTube, isn't it? So I'm sure you're totally on the ball of all of that. Right, let's listen to some more vocals from Nef, and I'm not sure if I think I've got a favorite one. I think this might be it, the chatty one. Let's have a go. Race for the next vocal, please. Heart just sinks when that happens.
Yeah, I have a lot of audio built up over the years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long interaction of talk, and you can just imagine if you could visually see what absolutely so happy in himself. I see it like a small child, just happy playing, doing something, whether it be making like mud pies or something. I mean, I'm just saying from a child point of view, just interacting and just happy in itself, and happy that it knows that you're going to be listening and doing something with it. That's the importance of it, I think.
They know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know they do. Yeah.
They know. The headshots of Nef, which I'll say, like that photo up on the screen, that was just some AI program. I was just looking for stuff, right? But the headshots of Nef that Dwayne took, I'll just say he has shown himself, but not to me, not yet. But
no,
he has been witnessed in his full form.
Because you've got people that do witness Sasquatch a lot, but watch them shimmer and shimmer out again. Like many things interdimensional do. So I think some people are blessed. Clairaudient, clairsentient. Clairvisual. Maybe this is your way of doing it. Who knows? Who knows what's around the corner? You can never assume, can you? Because you're next going out there, anything can happen. I mean, I love that one because it's so long and it's Nef sounds so happy. And we're not just talking vocals, you know, Mike has so much material in footprints, whether it be in mud or in the snow, and various sizes, and that's where you can depict what you know, family member it is as well, isn't that, Mike?
Don't necessarily know which family member, except for Nef's prints, but
yeah,
they're at this point, I think there's at least a dozen.
Mm.
You know, so they tend to show their prints in the snow. Most of them are in the snow, right? Because of the time of year we like to visit. And like there was one video that I had put out recently. I put some footage out that happened in the last couple years that might have even been last winter, that I had just gotten there. Dwayne's in the cottage. The first thing I do, snow on the ground, I look for prints. Sometimes there's prints, right?
It was on the step.
There was nothing. So I walk up the walkway, go up the steps. I'm scouring everywhere for prints on my walk. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I stick my head in the door. Hey, Dwayne, you know, talk to him for 30 seconds, put some stuff inside, go back down the stairs. Suddenly in that 30 seconds, there's 10 footprints right there circling a tree that just appeared. That's
right. I do remember that because I remember you walking around it. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to go back through the YouTube videos and just watch them because, like I say, because it's phenomenal what you've documented. It is phenomenal what you've documented. And I mean, I know that your head's scratching your head and you never know what's going to happen. And that's the magic of all of this. They're just keeping us all on our toes. But, you know, you're documenting it and you're doing your thing. Race, can we have another piece of audio, please?
I just want to say, too, just before he plays that, you know, with this stuff, like it's a dozen years and I haven't been given a good visual of Nef yet. You know, a dozen years I've waited so far. There's a lot of people that, you know, like, where's the video? Like, why is this taking so long? People have expectations, human construct. They attach that, you know, that it should be a certain way when you can't do that. This is complete unknown. This is an interdimensional race that has always been there. Apparently, they predate Homo sapien. You know, from what I've learned, they were here before us, right? This is what they say. I'm just you know, the middleman giving the message here from what I've asked. You know, questions I've asked.
Well, they're trusting you so much with this, which is amazing.
I've done the best I can to, you know, just maintain my integrity, keep things at a certain level of privacy and safety. And, you know, even though there's still been BS through the years with trespassing, stalking, harassment, you know, it's like some people, they try to put fear into you or whatever to make you shut up, right? And they don't realize all they do is drive me. I just want to shove it in their face even more.
But the UFO community understand that because we get the same thing. I mean, we're just both both reading off the same page, but we're just having the same things happen to us. You know, we all get that as well. What I was going to say something to you, you know, you said something on one of your videos. This is so true. It's because your intentions, Mike, is so pure in what you're doing. You know, you're coming from your heart, and that when people say, well, why does it always happen? You know, why do you have these encounters? It is because my intentions are good for doing what I'm trying to do, and I've always done, to just speak my truth about my experiences, and they know that about you, and that's why they're entrusting, you know, us good people to do this.
They know my intention is, they know how I feel about this system. It's, you know, there's a lot more details about this situation I'm involved in, that certain things I really just can't speak about or don't want to share, or things I've learned about myself, and it's quite the journey, right? It's just people just have to be patient. Everything has a time and a place.
Listen, Mike, you've got to keep things personal, some things personal, because it's not for everybody to know. It's your personal journey. I know that you're sharing it with everybody, but I'm going through my own personal journey as well. And I don't share everything with everybody because there's some things that I want to keep to myself, because that interaction is so personal. And, it's so hard you can't describe it at times. You only kind of know it inside, right?
Yeah, there's this situation that I'm involved in. I was invited to, a private property. And as much as I have this connection with them and this contact with Nef's family, it's, like Dwayne's grown up with them, around him, right? So I think I was kind of brought in to introduce them and help alleviate the fear and all that. And I had my own at first, but now both of us are, we're just fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite the norm now, isn't it? It is, after so many experiences that you have, it is the norm. But I can imagine in the very beginning, when you were outside in the conditions, because you can hear in some of the recordings it's pissing down with rain and various things. It's going to be very cold. And then some of your videos, you've got all the mosquitoes around and various things. So you're doing this in all terrains. I know that it's difficult to do, but I honor what you do, and I know that there's so many people that follow you now that you're on to something very incredible, and how amazing. Right, let's listen for other people to listen to some more, because there are more words that say. So Race, that isn't one of them. That's a local dog.
I got the door open here.
Okay. It'll either be your cat walking past.
Go! Now. Oh.
Saying that one again, because I know that everyone's heard it, but now they can, because you're taking so much in. Can you just play that one again for us, please?
Go! Now.
Remarkable character, right? Got absolutely a remarkable character.
He's banging on my car roof there.
Is he? Oh, I wondered. Okay. Yeah, because
that's what the bangs are.
Really? Oh, because you have the mic at the sunroof, you said, yeah?
Yeah, these little stereo condenser mics running through the sunroof. And yeah, he would always gravitate to my vehicle. And he's clearly speaking language there, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, there was Ron Moorhead back in the 70s. Ron's still around. Him and Al Berry. Al Berry isn't around, but him and Al Berry. Al Berry was I think he was a reporter who was invited in there, and he wanted to prove it a hoax, with the Sierra Sound stuff that was going on. So when they went up there, he found out it wasn't, and they got those incredible vocalizations. But a lot of people tend to think that, they should all sound like that. What I've learned is they're people. They have different races like we do as humans, different. They're all different, so there's different languages being spoken. And also, I think basically, sometimes they might have to dumb themselves down to interact with humans, right? Because I remember one thing that was Dwayne's dad had part of a thing he had mentioned when he told a story during an interview, about some of the things that he's witnessed, and he had heard it was like a child and an adult outside the window one night at the cottage. He said the child was just chattering away, like that rapid chatter. I've never really heard it, I guess, like that. It's always kind of slowed down, like that right there, that piece. It sounds very slowed down, but again, he's clearly speaking language, right?
Yeah.
There's a cryptolinguist in this that's worked with Ron Moorhead. That's he's had some disparaging remarks to say about what I'm involved in, right? And again, there's these people that are propped up as experts, and none of them are.
No. None of them are.
No, they're put on television as experts, and that none of them have contact.
No, I know, right?
None of them. It's all.
Yeah.
But
well, Hollywood, baby.
Like over time, I'm accumulating this very substantial library of vocals and speech, and I've learned their behavior. I've learned how they show up. I've learned how they interact with humans. The audio has been just a fantastic tool that has taught me so much. Like I have a tent spot that I go to.
Yeah.
Throughout the summer, it's insane with the bugs there, and it kind of keeps me out because it's not enjoyable. But I was
you
there.
Need a bee suit. Put a bee suit on.
It's just really not enjoyable. But I was there. I was there more recently. I went up by myself for the night, and it was a dead still night. It was pretty quiet, but I'm getting stick breaks and that. I have an audio recorder set so far from my tent, and then I have one set. I have one set like literally right outside my tent within arm's reach. So you hear me snoring and all that. But when I fall asleep, there's, clearly footsteps walking.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
lots of crack, snap, stick breaking, and that's been very consistent throughout the years. And they're just as elusive today as they have always been. So, they show their presence, but, it's funny how.
It's like a feral cat.
It's just funny how even with all this interaction and that, how they're still so elusive still,
Yeah, but we can't assume that they're just going to, show up for you. This is their way of doing things. I mean, I didn't realize that Dwayne's dad had interactions as well. And I suppose I have to say as well, for people, when you say cottage here in England is a little cottage, like thatched roof and various things. Cottage out in the States or Canada is a log cabin.
No, not necessarily. We got Muskoka, and there's like multi-million-dollar cottages there.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. I assumed that
it's everything, and from a small cabin to something elaborate that.
Oh. Okay, I've learned something new.
Yeah.
But and also your nephew, you took your nephew up as well, haven't you? Up there. Yeah.
Actually, Dwayne, he allowed him to come and visit. So, yeah, there was a bunch of marble things that had happened. I captured one vocal when we were outside in a distant vocal. Nef, I think he said my name. But my nephew didn't hear it at the time because, he's walking on gravel, right? But the audio captured it. So, he witnessed a few things. And I had also taken him to my tent spot, and he witnessed some things there too. Like he had a visual, tree went down. There was a few things that happened.
It might take a bit of time for him to gather trust as well. It might not just happen for him like it has happened for you. It'll just takes its time. They're obviously just watching. They're watching the interaction between you two and how they're gonna play it. Right. I really want to hear the ones where he says flower, because actually in that long one that we just heard, I'm sure I heard tree. I'm sure I heard definitely flower, and I'm sure I heard you as well in that one. But can we have another vocal, please, Race?
Move your audio up and underneath of that. I gotta put your... Oh, hey buddy. Nephatia. How are you, my friend? Oh, he's right here. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my God. Hello, my friend. Oh, I'm so happy you're doing this. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Marble.
I love you, buddy.
Marble.
Marble. Marble. You're saying marble. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh, thank you, my friend.
Mike. Mike. Mike.
Okay, we have heard those ones before. I apologize. Have you got another one, Race, that we can put on?
I do not. That was the last one.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right. Okay. I apologize. Mike, when you're saying, I can hear you, my friend, and Nephatia is saying something. He says something just as you're replying to him. Have you sort of broken that down like sort of like a sound engineer would, sort of take you out a little bit to see what word that was? We can't hear you. Okay. Did you hear me? Do you hear me, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure which spot you're talking about.
Okay.
I was going to say too that that last little bit where he yells my name 3 times. That's actually a 3-minute piece. There's it's one of my favorite pieces from September 6, 2013. It's incredible, the clarity on it, right? But my two, I thought I had the one where he absolutely bellows. I'm sure that I sent that one as well, but I must have put that in on the other one. There's one that's got such a loud bellow that is incredible. Damn it. I thought I put that one in because that is absolutely extraordinary. But when you're acknowledging him and he's Nef saying something,
as you're acknowledging him back, he says another word. So I just wanted to know if you sort of like tried to break it down to see what that word was.
I'd have to hear it to, you know.
Okay. I mean, okay.
To know exactly which spot you're talking about, but
okay, because it seems like he's trying to say something else.
That one piece though that you just played, where it's like he yells out and I'm caught off guard, like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the first times that he like I would crawl into my tent and he would start up with his vocals. So this was, I think that was a night where it was minus 18 Celsius.
Jesus.
And I only set up my tent just to entice vocals. I crawled into my tent that night, and I didn't have to wait long. You know, I'm just shivering in my sleeping bag, and I slept in the cottage. I crawled into the tent just to entice vocals, and he started calling. You know, did his vocal thing. I think I was still crawling into the tent when he started up with it. Oh. And then when he finished, I came down the hill through the snow. I'm looking around my car and I saw footprints. So I knew I had amazing vocals because I was listening to him vocalize, and there was his footprint right beside my car. So I knew I'd have awesome vocals. And then that was the first time that he yelled out right, I don't know, 30, 40 feet away from me while I was standing there. And that's, it was a shock.
Because you also get handprints as well. And you've handprints, you've done loads of castings, as well. And also, because you all auctioned off some castings as well, which is fantastic.
They were originals from Dwayne's collection, yes. Yeah.
And what's the other thing? You've got quite a lot of evidence you've picked up. You've got hair as well. You've got the multitude of everything that you really need. I mean, for yourself, I would be happy with that. I'd be happy with that. Yes, of course, it'd be lovely to see, but I'd be happy with what you've got, because in yourself you don't need to explain anything to anybody else, which is amazing. But let's talk about the fart. Let's talk about the fart, because that's absolutely bloody funny. I didn't put it on here, but tell me the story about the fart. Were you in the house? Was it in? No, you were outside, weren't you?
There was 2 incidents.
Okay.
The first one happened here at home. There's a young male here. I don't know his name yet. He actually woke me up twice in a week, very, very recently, like last week. I had 2 telepathic incidents of being woken up by him. One was calling my name during a short nap, and I actually was conscious enough to respond this time. He didn't do anything after that, but he said my name, and he didn't pronounce the K, right? So I've been out back going like Mike, showing him how to say the K. He's probably listening to me now. And so I had put my audio out back in the woods. I'm surrounded by woods here. And so one night, I go back there. I tell him, hey, I'd love to hear your sounds, and your voice. And so I'm listening back to the audio recording from that night. There's nothing. I hear some stick breaks and stuff. And
we got 2 minutes, Mike.
Oh, and then it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I get a clear fart. And it was hilarious. And then I go up north to a brand new location, invited to a cottage, and I'm there with 2 guys, the owner and that. I set up my audio recorder during the day, and the 3 of us are out front. 34 minutes after I set up the audio recording, I get a clear fart there. So 2 different locations, about 3 weeks apart.
Okay.
And they know.
Oh yeah, right. So for everyone listening again, a big fire marble through watching one of your YouTube. Well, the night before I'd listened to watched and listened to the marble episode, and then in my makeup bag was a marble. Then I got gifted with weaving, and then I got gifted with a footprint that was in my garage that was wet. It was crazy that, you know, that I remember showing you, and it was on one of the episodes, I think part 1. But I then watched the fart one, and I giggled to myself and thought, sorry, not allowed to swear. I just giggled to myself as I did. Anyway, got into bed, cat's at the windowsill. Now, I don't even think that I've ever heard my cat fart, really. I don't think I have. I know dogs do, and they look round and they go a little bit crazy, but I don't think I've heard my cat do it. But I'm in bed, my cat's over at the window, as it does, likes to sleep by the open window. And I swear to God, it must have been about maybe a foot and a half away from my head. I heard the same fart that was in the video. And I just sort of like thought, what? At the first fart. Didn't think there'd be a second fart. And then there was a second fart. And I'm like, well, I know that wasn't me farting. I know that wasn't the cat farting, right? And there was no smell. And I was just like, oh my God. So listen, guys, you know, I can't explain it. I know that it happens. Did you get this? Did you get a smell at all? I didn't get a smell.
No, it happened at the audio recorder, not.
Oh, right.
So.
Okay. Well, I knew that I was doing this today. I've got to go. We've got to go in a couple of seconds. So actually, forget about me. You carry on talking, Mike. Plug yourself. Plug your YouTube channel. You've got 30 seconds, my friend.
You know, just Sasquatch Ontario on YouTube, and I'm on TikTok as well. Same name, SasquatchOntario.com website, which I don't keep updated. You know, it's that's all. I'm just sharing my stuff, and
everyone needs to go start from the bottom, work your way up, see the continuous journey. It's undeniable, the evidence that you have. The vocals, there are some vocals that are absolutely phenomenal, the bellows and everything. Listen, Mike, you're going to be back.
And there's like a Patreon side to the channel as well. Stuff, other videos, more updated.
Absolutely support Mike. Absolutely support Mike for what he's doing, because I do, and I know many others do. Listen, Mike, see you for part 4, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you. on to the next encounter. All right, take it easy, Mike, and thanks again. Bye from the Naked Truth. Bye, take it. Bye, darling. Bye.
All right.